Can you hear that?
No, motherfucker, but I will whenever I get to hear it again.
My mic is really wet now. So wet.
We are anime.
Men of Misfortune, sponsored by Botanicana and Herbal Hemp Company.
So for our misfortunate listeners, some of you guys probably noticed how I wasn't in the last episode. I came up with a prayer because I had something I wanted to say with the last episode. So I had to, come up with something. And in this room, right now, and our listeners are going to stop what the fuck they're doing. They're going to bow their heads and they're going to fold their fucking hands. You guys ready?
Yes.
Dear sweet fire anime god in the sky, I wish to apologize for all humankind, for we have failed you. No, I'm not talking about Riley's anger towards Attack on Titan, or the sole fact that Jake was on the last anime episode, or for blessing me with a big fat dick. No. We are here to apologize for the bullshit that has been done to Vash the Stampede, the Trigun series. We are not worthy of your grace. For us, not us personally, have fucked up. Such a beloved show. In your great fiery anime name we pray, please strike down Orange Animation Studios for what they have done. In your name we pray. Nani.
Nani? Dude,
Oh God, fucking
the point you were getting to that throughout that whole prayer, which I love, by the way, was that you were butthurt by that, and it was really funny you fucking say that out of nowhere because I was at the game store today. Being a fucking anime boy.
Being a nerd.
I bought this expensive Berserk game.
For ungodly reasons, dude. Like this
because
game,
I know it's going to be worth more money.
It came out in 2017 and it's worth $80 fucking. It's nuts.
Collecting be like.
Yeah, collecting be like predicting games that are going to be really expensive on consoles that are not yet out of date. But it's funny you said that because I brought up Trigun to the cashier at the store, and I was just like, yeah, my buddies really fucking hated the new trailer, but I haven't seen it yet. And he was just like, yeah. But
that's a good impression of him, actually.
So
if you knew the guy at the store, you'd understand.
You know, yeah.
He was just like, well, thanks for coming in. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry I didn't leave sooner. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the CGI anime. You guys talked about that last time. I think I don't want to say it's lazy because I'm sure it takes more work. But for me, it just gets rid of the realistic feel for the anime. It's like Riley said last episode, it just doesn't do it for me.
It's just like seeing, older animes is one thing. We're not ready to be evolved. It's like, you don't need to impress us with visual aspects of new anime. Just make anime that's good.
I just really don't want to see MGK on my TV as Vash.
Yeah.
God. I'm probably okay. I'm still gonna watch it with an open mind, but like it's just shit like that. It's like it doesn't have any connection to like the original one to me.
No,
like,
right?
I don't understand.
Agree.
Like I don't know.
For me, it's kind of like doing like Star Wars. We had to revamp Star Wars
twice.
Yeah,
for the kids. For those growing up in that decade, it drives me nuts because you're tarnishing the good name of Vash the Stampede and Trigun. I feel like such a badass character. You're like Mason said, you're throwing an MG fucking K skin over something that I really genuinely love. Right now, I'm burning through Outlaw Star. I've got like 4 episodes left on Outlaw Star.
Nice.
I started that so long, like over a year and a half ago, and I didn't even finish it.
Oh, it's really good.
I think I got to where I was at in Trigun actually, because it's the same amount of episodes.
Yeah, it's
26 episodes.
26 episodes. So is Bebop. So I'm like right now doing this whole Western feel, with the release with Trigun. I was like, I'm gonna burn back all the old Western shoot 'em up animes, and I started with Outlaw Star. I was gonna revisit Bebop for the 40th fucking time, and then I was gonna hit up Trigun. But after I saw that trailer, I honestly, for one, I called it. I called the fact that they were going to do CGI because that seems to be the new direction with all this new anime shit. But I feel like they just fucked this up so bad and it hasn't even come out. It's literally Sonic.
Yeah,
it's literally
ugly
Sonic.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the community to jump on it and be like, down with this, because they're also doing it to Fooly Cooly too.
Yeah,
and that breaks my
that's
goddamn heart.
up.
It's funny you mentioned Fooly Cooly. I really, over the last week or so, have thought about watching the second and third season that came out. Like that was one that just kind of like fell off the radar for me. Like I knew about it and like I should have been a lot more excited than I was about it, but I just never fucking looked into it.
So progressive and alternative, that would be season. I don't know if you would call it 2 and 3 of Fooly Cooly, and this new one coming out is 4, or progressive and alternative are 1, and it's just season 2. But I felt like I didn't connect as well to the characters. There was a new Harakun. While there was Harakun in the same situation, like there was 2 space girls, and they had 2 kids, and it was.
Yeah, they kind of alluded to that in the trailer that I saw.
I'm not for it. I want the original OG one. Again, I am a stickler for the 90s anime, but I feel like it just got completely washed.
I mean, my thing is too. It seems like they're taking such an iconic series and like putting a whatever is popular right now skin on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to hold up. Is my concern.
Not to the original fans though.
No,
but then again, they're probably not making it for just original fans. They want to capture other audiences too.
Yep.
And I don't discredit them for that. I think it's really annoying in the fact that they would do that, but at the same time, I could see why they would be trying to expand their audience overall.
Well,
get more people interested in it. Because, people that have never seen the original series might watch that and be like, oh, there's an original series?
Right.
I'm going to watch that now.
Well, yeah, because it's not like you can sit there and rebrand the old 90s Trigun without, 1, destroying its past, but 2, you're not breaching out and grabbing new audience. You're sticking with the audience that's already familiar with the show itself.
I mean, overall, I think it's open to interpretation. Like you can either like take the show for what it is and run with it, or you could watch whatever version you prefer and say that's better. Either way, I think it's only important if like you actually give the show some appreciation.
I totally 100% agree.
Yeah.
And with that, you are now listening to, and now I mention everything, I am your fearless leader, Tyler Campbell. To my left,
I am the guy in the chair known as Riley Wallen, and to my other left,
it's your boy Mason.
I am so glad that everybody came to tune in and check us out. Like Riley said on last anime episode, our listenership is out of this roof. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are beautiful, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Today's topic, we are talking about Kazuki Takahashi.
Nice.
And
I was going to say his last name, Yu-Gi-Oh.
we are going
Kazuki Yu-Gi-Oh.
We are talking, as Riley said, as Yu-Gi-Oh. This is such an influential pocket monster show for me. I remember as a kid waking up early on Saturday mornings, running downstairs at the
turning on your TV and watching Kids WB before it fucking came on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna watch Pokemon, I'm gonna watch Mucha Lucha, and I'm gonna watch this show, and then Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna be on.
And I'm gonna shit my pants because he's gonna pull out the Dark Magician at any fucking point in time.
25 minutes later,
Dude, yeah. And it's always about the heart of the cards. And this show had some fucking insane battles. I thought the idea, it's almost like Pokemon. It's like you're graduating from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's a really good interpretation of that. I like that because Pokemon was there before Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was generally the same concept. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, they kind of brought like it's not just the monster's life now; it's your life if you fucking lose.
Yeah,
like your soul is going to be like put into another realm, and you'll just be dead.
And when Pegasus brought up the idea of the Shadow Realm of being it cast aside into this darkness void that you'll never escape from, it brought down the sheer doom and like calamity of how Pokemon couldn't bring that light. It was just like, oh, you lost the battle. Guess what? Get good,
There's
son,
no
and then come
consequences.
back.
Like Pikachu's tired. Feel sorry for Pikachu.
Yeah.
Now do it now. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just like, Celtic Guardian's gonna die again. But that's kind of why he was put out. It's fine.
Exactly.
He didn't flip Horn of the Imp in time. He did, but then they used a magic jammer and it was ineffective, so it still died. I've actually been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh lately on Game Boy Advance.
Can't tell. Cannot tell.
And those are 2 cards in my deck, and it's kind of helping me relive the nostalgia of the series. Because if we're all being honest, besides Mason here, because he's too cool for Yu-Gi-Oh, we at a certain level appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh growing up, and it kind of shaped us into a sort of anime outlet that we could use to appreciate other shows of its likeness. But then also play the game by itself.
Well, speaking of appreciation too, as well, I would like to tell. Could you tell the listeners why we picked this topic specifically?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
I was going to get to this.
Misfortunately.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention it in the beginning. That's all.
Takahashi, unfortunately, just passed away. He was found in Tokyo, Japan, on the side of I can't remember if it was like a ravine or a bank. It was a bank.
Yeah.
And he was scuba diving. Mm-hmm. So they're looking into his death right now. We thought it would be appropriate because, like Riley said, it definitely helped shape and mold Riley and I as kids for these pocket monsters. When Pokemon stopped being cool, Yu-Gi-Oh was there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. It was one of those things, like, as a kid, you have that schedule in life, and you're like, I'm going to get through school all week, but then it's going to be Saturday, I'm going to be off, and I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to watch this show. It's like that was something that it kept you going in life.
It's like going
as
to
a
church.
Kid. Yeah, right. It's just like, eating, breathing, pooping, peeing, whatever. It's just one of those things that kept you going. And the thing of it, though, is, like, it just placated, like, so many minds of the youth, because it's just like all we got to do is release the show and then release a card game for it, and all these people will be addicted to it.
Well, in 2004, if you don't remember, Pokemon was so big at this time. We had the Pokemon little tiny figurines.
We had
Pokemon
even
games.
in the 90s, dude.
I
remember like when Pokemon 2000 came out.
I had a Pokemon bedroom, dude. It was painted yellow.
Yep.
I had Pikachu posters. I thought it was the shit, dude. It was the shit. And once you grow out of that phase, you're looking for something more serious. You're looking for the Dragon Ball Z, the Berserk, the good animes, the good shows, and you run into. It's a good transition. It's a good transition. That's how I'll put it. It's a good transition from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh to actual hardcore anime. I mean,
it's like slowly growing up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was definitely like an introductory anime into a lot of people's childhoods. And I think that's, for this guy, like, that's what we should be most thankful for, is that he brought that upon people.
Of course, yeah.
It'd be like if the creator of Pokemon died. That's how tragic this situation is,
yeah.
For the anime community. And even those that, like, just watched the anime and didn't read the manga, like, this guy was a fantastic manga author.
He had such good connections. There were he would have so not only did he make some of Yu-Gi-Oh political, he dedicated an entire page to get people of Japan to vote. Mm-hmm. He had crossovers like Bo. There was a skit where they had the author of Bo come in and do a page, and inside of Bobo's afro was Yugi, and he was dueling from the inside of Bobo's afro.
Awesome.
Like, you just peek in and he's battling Kaiba.
It was kind of like
and I'll place one card face down, Kaiba.
It was kind of like a hatch, so kind of like a Frankenstein style brain where it kind of like leaped over and you.
Oh, like Scary Movie 2 with like Shorty,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. He did so much for so many people. And to die at 60 the way he did.
So young. Dude, I've got grandparents older than him. Like, I don't know. It must have been a stressful life. A lot of things to keep up on.
Yeah, either that or there was some funny business, some hanky-panky, but we don't know.
Regardless, he has a great legacy.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And today we're going to be
continue
covering
to live
that.
on. Yes.
They will.
Now we are. I still have, like, at least 50% of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My brother has the half. No matter what I do, I can't bring myself to get rid of them. We actually went to the last time I went to that Nerd HQ place with you, that whole fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card book, like, I literally wanted to buy like half the cards.
Really?
Like,
wow.
just on
They
the
had
impulse.
like Eye of Timaeus and stuff. And
just all kinds of good shit. I'm just like, I want to buy these so bad, but like, I know I have no use for them, but like, it just means so much to me that I feel like I need them.
Right. I mean, it's funny that you bring up the cards because, I mean, you mentioned earlier, I'm not a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. It's not that I'm not a big fan of it. I just was into Pokemon, and at the time, after I graduated from Pokemon, I was really into the card game, so I just went to Magic. So and then I saw Yu-Gi-Oh
You took
was
you
a
took
downgrade.
the big leap.
Yeah, I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was a downgrade because I was really into the trading cards. I like playing them,
Well,
so.
to be fair, it is a downgrade in my opinion whenever it comes to Pokemon's baby level. For not to offend our listeners that do still play Pokemon, then it goes Yu-Gi-Oh, and then let's be honest here, it's Magic.
Yeah, it's all about technicality though. Yeah. Even though Pokemon's an incredible technical fucking card game. Yeah.
And that's another thing that that this guy needs to be applauded for. This man, he brought together so many people by a simple fucking card game. Mm-hmm. That's all it took. How many matches have you ever gone to? Did you ever go to the Danville Mall whenever we were growing up and go to the duel tournaments that they used to have?
No, but I used to just like duel with my friends at school and then my brother all the fucking time, like every day. I remember I had a birthday party one year where like I had everybody bring out their Yu-Gi-Oh cards and I literally beat like everybody.
Hell yeah.
It was a fun time. They weren't like all as like experienced as me, but they all had cards and stuff, and I was just like, all right, let's go.
I think everybody had cards even if you didn't play.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I didn't play. I had cards. I still had, for some reason, I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Had a whole ass fucking deck and you didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, the point is this guy was just very influential on society in like, late 90s, early 2000s that, carries on to a legacy that still continues today. So we really applaud this man. And, while we're on air here, we'd love to talk about like how he affected our childhood, a little bit of history with him, stuff like that.
So Kazuki Takahashi was born on October 4th in 1961 in Tokyo, Japan. I unfortunately don't have much on his childhood, but when he started as a manga artist in the early 1980s with short works of various magazines such as Weekly Shonen Sundays and Weekly Shonen magazines. His first major work was Tokoki no Taka, Fighting Hawk, a one-shot published manga in Weekly Shonen Jump in 1990. One of his earliest works, I'm going to butcher this name. Stephanie and I went through it like 5 times and I still could not get it right. Tenki Shoku Danji Bure was published from 1991 to 1992 and lasted 2 volumes. However, Takahashi considered many of his early works to be a total flop. In 1996, Takahashi launched Yu-Gi-Oh! In Weekly Shonen Jump, where it was serialized in 2004. The series became a huge success and has sold over 40 million copies. The series has also received several media adaptations, notably an anime television series, a trading card game. Takahashi continued to supervise the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise following the end of the original manga's run. Now, we're going to talk about the anime itself. With a total of 224 episodes, not including all the spin-offs it had, 5 total seasons, 3 movies, and 12,000 different cards split up into Magic, Trap, and Monster cards, and a grand total of 56 video games across all platforms.
4 of which I have.
I was about to say, how many are Game Boy Advance? Like 20?
3 actually.
So, and that's what's crazy.
I have 2 on Game Boy Color, but it's the same game. I just have 2 copies of it.
There are so many games. There are so many games within the Yu-Gi-Oh realm that I remember clear as day. I want to say it was like Duelist Kingdom or something.
Duelist of the Roses.
Was it for GameCube?
No, it was PS2. It might have been on GameCube too. I don't know.
This one was GameCube, and you had like live action characters, and you got to like level up your monsters and like create a battle with Merrick, and you got to team up with Seto Kaiba at some point, and it was insane. Like, it was by far one of my favorite games on GameCube when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! And, even better than Pokemon Coliseum, I'll even say.
I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games always kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, they didn't really have to delve, like, too far into the story. It's like, as long as you just get to battle, like, the people that you did throughout the show, like, you'll get what you want out of it. Because I've actually recently been playing the Eternal Duelist Soul on Game Boy Advance. And, like, it just has me captivated. Like, I really, like, can't get away from it. And you more or less go through like the first 2 seasons of the show in it. So if you're like an OG fan, you're like, I can appreciate that. But like, if you want to get into the later stuff, you probably got to buy like the other 3 Yu-Gi-Oh games, or actually there's like 4 more Yu-Gi-Oh games on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
and cover all the story. Like they have their own like standalone Dungeon Dice Monsters game, which I've really wanted to fucking play because I loved the concept of Dungeon Dice Monsters when it came out, and that's what fucks me up too, because that was such a great concept in itself, and it did not catch on
Duke
Like, it was
Devlin.
yeah, and that's canon to the original anime too. Like
Duke
that's
Devlin,
like the last 10 episodes.
It
Is
was
the whole Dungeon Dice Monsters arc.
Well, I'm not sure if it was for the actual for the anime itself, for the Dragon series. Is that what you're talking about?
It was before that.
Well, I know, because in Battle City he meets Duke Devlin, and that's actually what I was going to talk about as my favorite duel throughout the entire series, even with Moroku, I believe his name was Bakura. I can't remember his name. It was one of Yugi's friends that was like
Bakura.
So
Yeah.
Bakura and Duke Devlin were my two favorite characters throughout all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought the concept of the dueling dice was fantastic. It brought a new element to the game. It didn't change much, but it also added a lot. I mean, you also got graceful dice and what was the other one? It was a trap card, trap dice or something.
It was like demon dice or something.
And
that.
it was such a cool thing. Like you roll
and
a
I used
dice.
to have both of those. I put grateful dice in my deck on that game that I was just talking about that I've been playing.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, like, game changer cards. Like, any second, like, oh, this monster is about to attack you. Bam, flip. Oh, I just got 900 more attack points. Sorry, you're dead now.
Time to die, boy.
So can you explain to me what you're talking about?
Okay, so graceful dice, skull dice. Graceful dice
Skull
and
dice,
skull
yes,
dice.
you're right.
So graceful dice was a spell card that you could play at any point in time. And
But it was like a quick effect spell card. It's
like an instant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like mid attack, you play that, you're able to roll a dice, and for whatever number you roll on that dice, you got points for your attack and defense.
Okay,
Times
cool.
100.
Times 100.
Nice.
It was just your attack, though.
Yeah. And then skull dice was a trap card, so if somebody was attacking you, you could play skull dice, and it would do the opposite.
Against their monster. So,
That's
like,
cool.
you'd roll a dice, and you're like, oh, 5. Well, you just lost 500 in attack and defense points.
Yeah, that's a cool-ass concept.
So then they attack you, the monster gets destroyed, and they lose life points.
Nice.
It's just like a quick fuck you card
So-
more than anything.
One thing that really upset me about Yu-Gi-Oh itself as a whole, as a whole market, is the show didn't reflect the game itself. What happened in the show wasn't what happens in the game, because the game would be so fucking broken, it wouldn't be funny. Like, there are times where Yugi plays some crazy shit, and you're like, that's not how that fucking works.
Yeah, he'd be like, well, since my dark magician's on the field and we've played so many games together, he gets more attack points than your monster.
Dude, straight up. It was about the
Or
heart
be
of the
like, I
cards.
play Dark Hole, and he's like, well, actually, Dark Magician happened to be a magician, so magic cards don't affect him. But you're like, but it's not on the card that's like used in tournaments and everything. And he's like, oh, I said so. Yugi honestly had probably one of the most powerful talk no jutsus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Botanicana, an herbal hemp company with over 13 years of legal cannabis experience that strives towards educating guests on the health benefits of hemp and CBD products. A family-owned, farm-to-table business with the goal of making your quality products for your health and becoming your local source for all hemp products. Have questions? Stop by your Tri-State Botanicana locations today in Galena, Dubuque, and now Platteville. Botanicana, open your well-being.
Dude, that's one thing I was going to say. Like, when I remember as a kid, I would watch the show, and, like, not all the time, but if it was on, I'd watch it. But as Riley was saying, like, Yugi would go into these duels, and the most ridiculous fucking things would happen that, like, that's what threw me off, because I was like, this isn't a game. This is not a card game. This is just fucking motherfucker coming in here saying, I win. And then just leaving. And I don't know how.
What the hell do you mean he won? What the hell?
I was like, what is going on?
I had all the health points, and he had 5, and somehow he won. No, it was such a biased show, dude. It was such a biased show for Yugi. I don't think he lost one time throughout the entire show.
That's what I'm saying. That's just... At least Ash is lost. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ash was like almost sort of humble because he could never beat like anybody ever. So like
he was just all of us as kids, just idiot.
Yugi like came out swinging big dick, energy because he was the king of the games. Like that, the Pharaoh Yu-Gi-Oh is a pharaoh, and his deal is that he's the king of all games.
I was about to say, yeah, he was like possessed by a god, right, or some shit, like kind of
Egyptian pharaoh that was trapped inside the Millennium Puzzle box that they never fucking explained.
His bling,
yeah, his bling bling, a little thing around his neck. But he was so OP, with the dumbest fucking cards that you couldn't win any fucking duel with, and just come out on top as like the reigning big dick champion.
I always remember he had like one monster. It was like a brown puffball with like green
Karibo.
feet, with little green
Karibo.
feet. Yeah,
Karibo. And Karibo, he had this card that really pissed me off that I brought to a duel one time because in our local mall we had duel tournaments and they had like this separate like massive room and all the nerds had their duel discs and people would dress up like an Akatsuki member and show up with a duel disc and play. It was a real confusing time for anime people, but they pulled out these duel discs and this guy, he was like halfway to summoning like Slifer the Sky Dragon, which is a god card, and I pulled out Karibo and I used his multiple like his he's got this spell and it only works for Karibo and it multiplies him, but it doesn't do what it does in the TV show.
I remember seeing that in the show. There's like a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's like a billion of them, and he
multiply
wins.
cards. It's just like, oh, you may use 2 tokens, where it's just like in the show, he gets like a million Karibos.
Yeah,
us talking about this reminds me of the YouTube where it's Sal and he's fighting Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's like banned card. Banned card. Also banned card.
Banned in 2004.
Like Pot of Greed,
He just
Monster
gives up.
Reborn. Yeah. So, they. I mean, even after all this time, Yu-Gi-Oh has been done. It's still going. It's still bringing people to the table, man. It's still bringing life. There's still video games being fucking made. There was a game just like 6 months ago that was made. It's insane.
You think they're going to continue with the IP now that he's dead?
They've done it this long. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
I think where it's gotten now, as far as the card game goes, it's not even really like its own separate entity anymore. It's basically Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what takes away my interest from it. I've wanted to keep on it. Like I've wanted to like learn like the new ways to play, but I just can't do it. Like it's too against what was like engraved in my fucking psyche from just watching the show and playing it as a kid. So if there's any original Yu-Gi-Oh duelists out there, I will happily take your bitch ass on.
How we like always challenge people.
Dude, I'm still waiting for Holden McNeely for Elden Ring, dude, or not Elden Ring, but Dark Souls 3. I've still been waiting for that fucking email in my goddamn box, dude. We have 6,000 followers, and not one of them fucking knows him. Like, let's go, people. Let's fucking go. I'm ready to get this shit off the fucking ground. Do you have a favorite duel? Like, mine is obviously Duke Devlin, and the last time that he fights what is it? Bakura. I was gonna say Broku, but that's
Karapika.
You had all the right letters.
So to be fair, I'm pretty sure when I was reading the history of the man himself, I said Yoshihiro Tagashi. I might have said Tagashi when saying his name.
It's a common Japanese last name
because they're so goddamn close,
Yeah.
and I did so much research on the Yu
No,
Hakusho.
it was Togashi, not Tagashi.
Yeah, fucking tell me. So do you have a good? I mean, your favorite duel?
If I had to pick one, it's definitely the last duel that Yugi has with darts in season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that, if you're not familiar with that, that is the arc after the Battle City arc.
So it goes Duelist Kingdom, Battle City, then the Dark.
It's like the Orichalcos arc.
Orichalcos. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Orichalcos is the last one, I believe. Orichalcos, and then
For the original series, yes.
the original. So it's the first one where it's like the prologue, and it's like 20 episodes long. It's like them the hype up to Pegasus.
To them going to Duelist Kingdom and stuff.
Yeah, then it's Duelist Kingdom, and then it's Duelist City, which Kaiba throws after Pegasus gets defeated.
Yeah.
And then the Seal of Orichalcos, which is the last one where it's just people come out of the fucking woodworks trying to kill Yugi.
Yeah. It's like you've seen these
physically
OG
kill 'em.
guys. Yeah, like they're like, we're building up souls to summon a demon back type story arc.
It's like not a card game anymore.
It's like life or death. It's like anytime like they're dueling one of the people that's a part of the cult, like they play the card and they're like, all right, everything's on the table now. Like either you're gonna die or I'm gonna die, but
Right.
most likely you're gonna die.
Nice.
Yeah, and the Seal of Orichalcos, it is such an OP card in the actual game.
And I actually have the card.
Yeah, it's OP. So you play this card, and it offers you a bunch of attack, and it summons a seal on their forehead, and the big arena gets one, and Yugi...
I'll show you the sequence later. It's pretty hype.
Okay.
Yeah, and Yugi actually loses a fight throughout the entire...
But he doesn't die. His Yami side of him dies. gets sealed into it.
The kid.
Or no,
version.
it's the other
kid
way
version.
around. Yeah, the Yugi version gets sealed, but the Yami version doesn't. And he just he takes it all the way home, dude. He battles the leader of everything, and he uses the cards. Like he loses like everybody.
Yeah.
In this arc, like Joey, Taya, Tristan, like everybody.
We'll get to those people here in a little
Kaiba, Mokubo.
Yeah, we're gonna get to those guys here in a little bit. So to explain the anime itself, the anime comes from Studio Toei Animations. I don't know if you guys have heard that
Toei?
big ass fucking animation company.
Didn't they make One Piece or
Doesn't
something?
it have isn't it a cat?
Don't talk about
Like a-
Toei Animations.
Like a Bob Ross painter head.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It is about an ordinary high school student named Yugi Moto who assumes mystical powers when playing a mysterious card game. When blonde, spiky-haired Yugi, a weak and unassuming teenager, and his trash-ass friends solve the mysterious...
His friends are pretty trash.
Dude,
not
they're
gonna
so
lie.
garbage.
Yeah.
Solve the mysterious Millennium Puzzle. He is granted a special power that is activated when he plays Duel Monsters. Transformed into his alter ego, Yu-Gi-Oh!, King of Games, he finds himself engaged in shadow games against opponents from his past and present. Yugi and friends must find a way to stop the evil or be thrown into the Shadow Realm forever. Following in the footsteps of the massively successful Pokemon trading card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Became a national and ultimately worldwide sensation, spawning several animated television series and featured films along a vast array of licensed merchandise, which they sold the fuck out of.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What a fucking market, bro.
I always wanted the dual disc as a kid the most.
I had one. I
I
Is
remember
that the thing you wear in your arm?
Yeah.
and it like flips and folds out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
You get
And I
all
remember
kinds of
I was
pussy
with
with
I was
those.
with one of you guys like not too recently at GameStop in town, and I saw that there, and they wanted like $130 for it, and I think it was you. I was just like,
I think I remember.
I'm
that,
like, dude, that's
yeah.
literally all the money I have in my bank right now, but I'm almost willing to do it.
You regressed to like young you when you saw it.
And then I went like back a week later, and it was gone, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I should have bought it.
Yeah, I remember showing up at BC Collectibles, which is the card shop in the mall in Riley and I's hometown. We would go over to this like little section that they bought off, and they had like duel tournaments there, and this was like the height of Duel City, and basically you had nerds galore. I mean, there were people like with the dual disc that took it so serious. Like every time they grabbed the card, they had to like stare at it for a couple seconds, like kind of what Mason does. And
then I
like
look
one
at you
eye,
and smirk.
they smirk and they're like, "I'm not gonna play this card yet, but it's fucking coming."
I remember being a kid, like around the time those got popular, and I went to my buddy Kendall's birthday party, and we all brought our decks out and everything, and like he had just happened to have two of those, so like there would be people in like the corners having their own like tabletop duels, and then it'd be like me and somebody else with the dual disc on, and I'm like trying to use it, and I keep like leaning down, like all my cards are fucking falling off, and I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but it feels really cool. It feels like we're in the show right now.
That was like the coolest part. You know what's crazy is I actually didn't know the show itself had an end. I thought it just kind of stopped at the dragon. They had a whole separate movie for the ending of the show.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it looks incredible.
I have not seen it.
It looks incredible. Like I'm talking like top of the line fucking animation. It was all by him. Like he did everything for it, and it
Nice.
looks fucking insane. Like it would keep up with most animes today. And this was done in like I think 2012 or something.
Nice. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hey guys, it's Tom with the Magic Wand from Misfortunate Media. If you made it this far in the episode, we stopped for a beer run, but check out our other shows, our deep dive show, Morning Cup of Chaos, our anime show, Now I Mention Everything, and our new show, Meta Misfortune. You can check us out on any streaming platform or anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
So we have some honorable mentions of the show. Somewhat that tie into the original series, but like I don't know if Riley's ever seen any of them. I wouldn't doubt it. But I also would doubt it because they were absolute trash. I mean, GX was like, okay.
So I tried to watch GX when it came out, and for some reason I only made it like 2 episodes, and I just gave up. I'm just like, nah, I can't do it.
So these are the honorable mentions. These are the side spin-off shit that, you know, it still has his name. These are still his cards. These are still the monsters. but they're different. They add synchros, and it just gets so complicated that it's almost not the same game that we grew. It's almost completely not the same game that we grew up with playing. So we have 5D, GX, Zeal, Arc V, Go Rush, Sevens, and Vrans. GX, in my opinion, was the only show that I gave a shot to. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! But high school version, and you're ranked by the colored jacket you have, and it's ranked off the God cards. So Slifer's the bottom, Obelisk is, middle tier, and Raw is the top. And it follows this kid who is in Slifer's class, and he's, a really good duelist. He ends up actually meeting Yugi at the very end, and he actually duels him. It's a really cool last episode, goodbye to the whole show. But that was the only show I actually gave a chance to. I tried to watch 5D, and it was a bunch of duelists on motorcycles.
Weird.
It didn't make sense.
So that's always kind of been the callback to my friends and I that appreciate young Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, we'll have a similar conversation and be like, but now you got these fucking guys on motorcycles dueling side by side as they race on a track. Like, this isn't even a fucking card game show anymore. Like, it's just elevated to a whole nother level.
It does. And I don't know what the other ones are. I don't know. I haven't watched them. I didn't even know there were that many. Like, straight up, I was like, oh, there's several series TV adaptations. What? What the fuck? I thought it stopped at 5D, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, no, there's a lot more of a shit show. Like, what's up with this?
The 5 Ds of dueling.
I don't.
Deck, duel, draw, deck, and draw.
I didn't know what to do after the bike thing I saw. I'm pretty sure it was one of those days where I'm, up really late. I stay up past Adult Swim, and Toonami or Cartoon Network kicks in at night into the morning. Mm-hmm. And 5D was on. I was like, I don't know what's going on. They're on motorcycles. It's like NASCAR, but not. They're like dueling and fighting each other while on
NASCAR,
bikes.
but with Pokemon.
Dude,
Exactly.
It's really fucking weird. I can't speak for the other shows. I have no way of even remotely getting on top of the rest of the shit show that was Yu-Gi-Oh!
If any of our listeners have and they recommend it, let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, is it worth our time or is it not?
Our time is very valuable, by the way.
100%. Dude, I'm on 970. By the way, thank you, Mason, for remembering how far I was on One Piece. I'm at 970 on One Piece. I barely have time to get to 1,000. So, just keep that in mind.
Right. Is it worth postponing One Piece?
All right, yeah.
I've been binge watching Outlaw Star and One Piece. Just figure it out. So, to finish off the Yu-Gi-Oh! Portion of the show, we have a quote here that I'm going to have Riley read.
Oh, God. Now you're putting me on the spot.
Riley is my best friend, and I want to hear what he has to say about this man and his final words to his audience, which I think is beautiful. He had a goodbye. It was the last manga that he wrote.
Oh, okay.
And it was a whole page, and this was the last page.
God damn, you're going to make me cry right now.
Motherfucker.
All right, well, to honor this man's words, I will so eloquently put this as best I could.
Good luck.
Oh, fuck, I almost had it. Oh, shit, what the...
Get the fuck out of the way!
Hey, fuck you, man, I'm trying to skate here.
Hey, man, what's wrong?
Dude, there's nowhere good to fucking skate. I keep busting my ass on, concrete and sidewalks. I'm just tired of it, dude. Hate this town.
Why don't you go to Hollywood?
Hollywood, what the hell is that?
It's an all-action, sports-friendly 8,000-square-foot indoor skate park in Dubuque, Iowa, with 2,000 of that in a separate area, which can also be used for party rentals. Open 6 days a week, and we'll be doing an all-age show coming up here in the near future.
Oh, shit, man. Thanks. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, they're at 3125 Cedar Crest Ridge B. And when you go there, use the code MISFORTUNATE for a half-off lesson or $5 off a day pass, which is normally $20.
Oh, thank God they have lessons. I can't skate worth shit.
Hey, me too!
Nice.
Quote, for 7 long years I've traveled with Yu-Gi-Oh! I think I've been able to draw the themes I've wanted to express, but as I end the series, my main concern is whether I've transmitted my message to my readers. From the moment Yugi put together the Millennium Puzzle, the other self appeared in his heart. The time needed to explore 2 main characters turned this into a long-time series in our daily life. We never get to see ourselves except by standing in front of a mirror, but even a mirror won't reflect our hearts. The games that the characters played were not played facing monitors, but facing other people. The opponents they played were the movers that reflected their hearts in a basic sense. They fought each other's spirits because this was a manga. It was deeply colored by the battle between good and evil. But I think the basis of the game was to clarify what lies between people. I think this was the reason that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game became so successful all over the world in my mind. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been completed, but throughout the world, many people are taking my work and the cards in their hands in gratitude. For that, I'd like to prolong the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! For just a little while longer. I borrowed the end of this book to thank all of those who have participated in this world. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kazuki Takahashi, April 14th, 2004.
That was his last manga for Yu-Gi-Oh! That was the last thing he said to his viewers or listeners or readers. That was it.
Players.
Or players. Yeah. Like, that was it. I mean, that was the be-all, end-all for that show.
This guy really put his heart and soul into everything that was this IP, I guess you could say.
I could just tell from what you read.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And that's why I felt so compelled to add it to our story, because the absolute very end when he was talking about, you know, I just want to hold on to this moment for a little bit longer and prolong it. Like, that hit home. You know, it brought people together. It made a whole ass community based around these pocket monsters, based around this card game. And it made friends. I mean, I couldn't count the friends I've made playing stupid fucking games online or whatever. But I definitely remember those encounters at the mall with that fucking asshole wearing the Akatsuki outfit with the dual disc, pulling out the fucking Exodia halfway through the fucking duel.
Dude, you just gotta admit, that guy was more anime than you'll ever be.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't have, like, bitches just swarming him when he walked in the fucking room.
Mean, it's just that's usually what happens.
How many GameStops do you think he runs right now?
All of them. He holds the most stock in them.
Stonks.
Yeah.
So we're at the end of our episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed our episode about Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope you guys learned something from this, because that is what we're ultimately going for. Yes, we're about the comedy. Yes, we're about the ha-has and the funny improvs that we do. But at the end, we're all about the knowledge. If you're not walking away with something from this episode, we fucking failed you. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you guys have been fantastic. We have been getting sponsorships out the fucking wazoo. We just had a sponsorship meeting with Botanica. They have given us shirts, merchandise, all kinds of shit. If you haven't checked them out, they have locations in Platteville, Galena, and Dubuque. I can't thank them enough for seeing what we see and what you guys see in us. You know, with that, we do have a listener email that I really want Mason to read right now. It is about the 2004 Town Car Lincoln episode that we did for Mom, and I think you guys are going to get a kick out of it. But
for those of you that don't remember, we actually covered a news story in that episode about a woman suing Geico for getting an STD in an automobile, which we did not think was possible, but we've got some of the best feedback we could have ever received from it.
The message we got from one of our listeners, Riley, reads, "Afternoon. I was listening to this episode and wanted to chime in regarding the lawsuit that was talked about. For context, I work at an insurance broker and have a better understanding than most about insurance coverage. If this policy covered auto liability, the damage you cause to others, this person could have legal grounds to stand on. If the insurance policy does not specifically define the term damages to others and also does not contain a virus exclusion, then the person who contracted the HPV has every right to sue. It is the same concept regarding general liability coverage. If you slip in someone's driveway, they are liable for your damages, as the pure existence of your property has introduced insurable risk. Hope that helps. Happy arguing and stay misfortunate, Peppermint Patty."
So, to Peppermint Patty, thank you guys so much. We have 6,000 listeners. And she was the first person to actually send us like a good response to one of our stories.
Yeah, and we would definitely appreciate more of that.
Hell yeah.
By all means. More.
Come on. Send what you got. Tell me how you feel.
Bring it on. Whether it's good, it's bad, we want to hear it all.
And we also have one of our first gifts that we got to the studio itself. We got a gift of 3 posters and a tie-in bag, or a tie bag.
Yeah.
From a good friend, Dustin Murphy. We cannot thank him enough. You guys have, like I said, you guys have been awesome with the following, the listening, the sharing, the providing information to those who fucking need to stay misfortunate. I can't thank you guys enough, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. And from that, We are, and now I mention everything. Don't forget to check out our LinkedIn tree on our Instagram, Facebook, and basically anywhere you can get your podcasts. Share, report, do whatever you got to fucking do and get us out there, right, baby?
And your boys got a bussin' TikTok now.
That's
We're
right.
working on that fucking TikTok,
You're gonna
baby.
follow us on the TikTok, and you're gonna see some things that will make your day.
For I am your fearless leader, Tyler Campbell.
I am your humble host, Riley Wallen, and to my left I have the one and only illustrious
Your boy Mason.
Stay misfortunate.
and stay animated.
Oh, shit. We're on the wrong show.
That's perfect.
And we're out.